Hello people, this is Shad Harris of the Rebel Society, and today we are doing another conversation with a creative entrepreneur, a comedian.
It's big words, make it sound important.
You're very important. a hair school graduate.
Wait, dropout.
Oh, you didn't graduate?
No.
You couldn't get the finger wells right?
I went to Ward's Corner. They can't transfer credits nowhere else, and then they shut down. So like, I gotta start from the beginning. I'm not doing that shit. That's so dumb. Shout out Ward's Corner.
So we have Miss Kristen Sivills,
Hello.
Tanner.
Hello.
What do you go by now?
I go by Kristen Sivills on stage, but I have to use Tanner, in the house.
Okay. All right. So I found out about you, of course, through J. Rowland.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the first time I met you was that wonderful episode y'all had with the exes.
Yeah.
Which was a very wonderful experience.
It's a great way to meet somebody.
It was awesome. I'm not supposed to be there. I'm just sitting in the background like, yo, this shit is good.
It's very honest.
Yeah, this shit is great. So, you're a comedian, or for the people that don't know you,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do?
I am a comic. I've been doing comedy 9 years.
Okay.
It's so funny because I meet people with J-Rod. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, she's like actually funny. Like, no, I've been here. Like, we just got together. But I've been doing comedy 9 years. But I've done a little bit of everything. I've done acting. I used to do spoken word.
You do spoken word.
Yeah. Well, I don't know words. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm very good at everything.
I can definitely see that.
And I do hair. When people don't report me to the,
Oh, you
hair.
reported?
For free. I do hair for free. No one pays me money. They don't do that. That's illegal.
Can't do no box braids or none of this, Joy. Yeah?
What are you talking? It's so free. It's wild.
So how did you actually get started with comedy?
To be completely honest, I did a lot of shit and I didn't like taking direction from other people. So like, I worked at H&R Block. I worked
doing taxes.
I worked in.
Was you outside spinning the signs?
No, I was inside. You couldn't ask me nothing about taxes. I was just answering phones. I did that.
In my head, you were spinning the signs.
I worked at the mall. I did.
What store you worked at?
Shit. I worked up against the wall for a minute.
Okay.
R.I.P. I've done a little bit of everything, and I just didn't like having bosses. I worked in insurance, all that shit. And I've always been funny to people around me.
Okay.
And just been like, yo, I'll try it. And I took a creative writing class just to take the writing class, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. And I got on stage one time at a wing place, and they had a mic at a wing place.
Yeah,
and I got up
mic at wing place?
Matter of fact, at Wing King, yeah. And I got up, and I was like, oh, this feels good. And I just kept doing it, so.
Okay. So, like, in high school, did you get, like, most funniest or something?
In high school, I was nominated for Class Clown, but I got most likely to be famous. And you sitting in my apartment right now, so that didn't work out yet.
But you're on the way, though.
I did. I'm on the way.
You're definitely on the way.
I'm trying.
Okay. So, when you first got started, like, how were you actually building your name? And how were you getting people to know that you were funny? Because you don't put out videos of you doing any of this. So.
Honestly, in the beginning, it was just word of mouth. Like, there were people that knew that I was stupid. And they was like, oh, you on stage, like, here? Like, let me go here. And then more people started talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of did everything that they told me to do. I went to every mic I could go to. Mm-hmm. I tried to network as much as I could, write as much as I could. Because a lot of people don't get involved in networking. A lot of comics just think, oh, I'm funny, they gotta book me.
Yeah.
Like, nah, you gotta also make them want to like you and book you. So I did a lot of that in the beginning.
Okay, okay.
Just meeting people.
So when did you feel like you started to kind of build that following?
Probably when the first time I worked at Funny Bone.
Okay.
I started meeting a whole bunch of different comics. I started getting advice from different comics, trying to figure out who they knew, how they could do certain things. And I just followed all the rules of that. Like,
what were some of the rules?
Just going to mics, actually engaging with other comics.
Okay.
Actually doing what the bookers ask you to do, because a lot of comics are like, I don't want to kiss ass. I don't want to do this. It's not kissing ass. It's just, this is the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? And especially here in Virginia, you don't have 1,000 mics to go up to every night, like in New York.
Seems like it's only probably about 5.
If they last past a month.
Yeah, true.
So it's just getting involved with the people that are doing things, and probably maybe like probably a year and a half in, I felt like I started building or getting a name for myself a little bit more.
Was there anything that you actually did that kind of springboarded you? Or like was stuff like dry and then you did this one thing and then you was kind of like popping?
I did a little bit of social media in the beginning. I started, I don't know, I didn't post videos. Yeah, I don't post videos. Yeah, I'm big, because I'm big on, I want you to come see me. I mean, I post things every now and then, and I'm learning more about the internet. Like, you kind of gotta put something out there if they don't know you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just engaged with a lot of people on social media, if that makes sense. Like, with Facebook, I would, like, leave a dumb comment on somebody's thing. Like, it was stupid stuff. Yeah. Or on Twitter, I would tweet, like, funny stuff that would get retweeted. Like, in the beginning of Twitter, like, I was, like, really into it. And I've fallen off since then, but...
Yeah, I feel like everybody has.
I know.
Twitter is just a nasty world right now.
Yeah, it is. At this point, it's just navigating all these new apps and all that stuff. But it was just engaging with people in the beginning.
Okay, okay. So, does this area have a comedy scene?
Yeah, we do have a comedy scene. It's bigger than what people think, and I guess... Oh, this is so weird. It's a good comedy scene, but a lot of people leave because they feel like I'm going to go somewhere else and do great. Like, I'm going to go to New York and do great. But I've learned from a lot of comics that you got to conquer your area first before you go anywhere else.
True.
But we do have a scene. We do.
All right. So I actually have a question for you that I actually asked another comedian.
I'm scared.
Shout out to Skits.
Hey!
Yeah,
that's
so I was telling him probably about a year or so ago, because me and him actually went to high school together.
Okay. Oh, y'all old. I get it. Go ahead. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
He's actually way older than me.
Oh, I know. How much way? Is it way, like...
I'm 34. He's definitely like 38, 39.
Crazy. I'm going to be 33 in a couple days. Whatever. I'm still young. Go ahead.
That jokes. He's still old. So I was telling him, like, you know, a lot of the bigger markets, there's more people who are putting out video clips of them actually on stage, or they're doing skits, and like, especially like when skits was kind of like popping on like social media. But I feel like nobody around here does anything like that. So why do you feel like that's the case?
There are a couple of comedians that are starting to get on that with the skits and stuff. I know somebody that does it a lot is Jonte Ferguson. He's out here.
Yeah.
He does a lot of skits.
I shot a skit with him actually like last year.
Yeah, like, and Skeeter was doing a couple of them. So I know people are doing it, but I think it's also, we're also at a period where like a lot of people are just trying to figure out what else can you do, because everybody's doing skits. And it's starting to become that a lot of people are doing the same format of skit. Like, you're not like, a lot of the times, I'm not even gonna lie, I'll skip past a skit if I'm scrolling Instagram or something like that, because it's the same thing, unless I know that person. So it's really just trying to figure out what else is working. Like, what else can you do?
Okay. Because I think I hear from other comedians that they'll rather be on stage than do a skit. And I'm like, but if people don't know that you're funny or that you actually do this, they just think you're a funny nigga on Facebook. It's like a million of those.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. It's a lot of purists, I guess, that just want to do stage. I don't want to do skits. That's dumb. And I used to be that person.
Really?
I did. I don't want to do skits because I don't think that's my comedy. But I used to think like, oh my God, that's dumb. Like, that's not what I do. Like, I don't want to do that. But with the internet changing, like if you talk to a lot of the old comedians, they're like, back in my day, we had to do this shit. Well, now there's...
You gotta do this.
You gotta do something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I applaud those people that are doing it, but I think there's also people just trying to figure out what else can we do. Like, that's why podcasts are getting so big and things like that. So. Okay.
So speaking of your podcast, and then we had sex, which I'm a avid listener.
Yay.
What made you decide to get into that? Besides J. Rod telling you.
There's no besides. I didn't want to do a podcast. I did not want to do a podcast. I don't want to be one of those people that runs a room. Like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. But he was like, when I was pregnant, because of course we have twins. When I was pregnant,
we have an ass of kids.
Yeah, we do. We got a shitload of kids.
Yeah.
But when I was pregnant with the twins, I worked. I think I did stand up to about 5 months, And I had my babies at 7. I did stand up to about 5 months, and that's me like getting on stage for about 45 minutes, like just back hurting everything. So he was like, "We gotta do."
I feel like you were breathing heavy. And...
Yeah, I sat down, I leaned, and I think they thought that was part of the joke, but I was like, "I'm tired as fuck. I'm sleepy." I would leave shows early. Like, I gotta go take a nap.
Yeah.
I did what I gotta do. Pay me. But it was something to do. So he had an idea to do a podcast anyway, and I was like, I'll see. He was going to do it with another comic. And he was like, well, I mean, we in the house. We ain't going nowhere. So let's try it. And then, I mean, our story was interesting, so I guess it just kind of worked, and people liked it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, we just had a conversation with J-Rod. So he said that you wasn't into it. So what happened that made you like, you know what, I would kind of want to take this a little bit more seriously and get into it?
Honestly, one of the things is I'm 33. Like, I'm about to be 33.
Uh-oh,
like
33.
I'm saying, I mean, honestly, with all these kids, it feels old. And I'm like, I've been doing comedy this long. I was on a roll. Then I got pregnant with the babies. And
they having
his babies in the
having a ball right now.
I got pregnant with the babies, and I slowed down. And me trying to get myself just back where I was before, like, this has helped surprisingly a lot.
You didn't think it would?
I just wanted to do stand-up. I was like, I just want to do stand-up. I don't want to do nothing else. And then I kind of like arguing with him, and people think it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So when I do it and it come from my own home, that's not funny. Like, I need an audience when I'm right. So I don't know. It just worked. It turned out to be fun, and people liked it. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So back to the comic side of it. I know there probably had to be a lot of trials and tribulations starting out, ups and downs, just kind of getting out there.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a new comic starting out?
It's a couple of things that people don't understand. One of them is, don't feel like you got to get up every show you do and have new material, because there are open mics that are workshops, but a lot of people feel pressured because they think they're performing for other comics. So they're like, oh no, this person saw me do this set, so like I can't do this set. Like, that's not your audience. That's another performer. Your audience is who you're directing your jokes to, who you're entertaining. And if you have a joke that ain't all the way fledged out, you're going to get up there and you're going to look stupid. So, like, work on your shit. Like, don't feel pressured by anybody else but yourself. And get on stage as much as you can. Network as much as you can. And one thing that a lot of people might not believe is I don't feel like comedians are competition. I feel like we all got something different to offer. So don't feel like you're competing with people and you can't listen to this advice, or you can't like bridge with this person, and just network. Like, camaraderie is like the biggest thing. And I think that we're not a big scene because we don't do that as much as all the other places.
Okay.
So.
All right. So this is something I kind of want to know. Like, do you just get paid? Not necessarily you, but like a comedian. Do you just get paid just from doing your shows, or?
What do you mean? Like, just
like, I guess anytime you step on stage, you get paid.
That's bad to think, because a lot of people think when they do get on stage, you get paid every time. Sometimes you got to do shows where you ain't getting paid.
So how does a comedian get paid?
I think you have to build your rep up to that point where they're putting you on shows where they are paying you. Because a lot of people, they come in, this is their first show, and it's like, how much you gonna pay me? Like, we don't know what you're worth yet. And don't think that you worth something that you're not. And we get paid by time too. So the amount of time that we do also determines. So like the host does usually 10 to 15. Feature will come in 25, 30, and headliner 45 an hour. So you get paid differently that way, but you got to work up to that where people are paying to put you on stage.
So you're probably not getting paid for like the first.
I mean, honestly, don't expect really to get paid. And like the first year, you got to come with something. Like, don't just be like, I'm funny, put me on stage and pay me. Like, no, you gotta build up to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Clubs won't just hire you just because they heard you was funny. It's a lot of funny niggas on Facebook, but they can't bring that shit. Yeah, in person. Like, it's a lot of people that's like, nah, I'm funny. Like, yeah, but can you explain you're funny to everybody else instead of your niggas that you just sitting on the couch with?
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before I wrap this up, let me see. I feel like I got another question.
I'm scared.
Yeah, don't be. What's next for you?
Me right now, I think building the podcast. I'm trying to build being back on the road, calming down to the babies getting bigger and the older kids getting, they're self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Building the podcast, and just getting back on the road. I'm starting to book.
Ooh, got a question.
I'm scared now.
All right, this is a real question. So recently, I know you had the Wendy Williams show.
Yes.
So how do you go from being popping in your city to getting that mainstream larger exposure?
So
that's the question.
Okay, so I've been doing comedy 9 years. So in 9 years, I've just connected with a lot of different people. You'll go to, like, when you start getting on shows where people are bringing you for shows, then those clubs or those venues start liking you and other comics start liking you and they start booking you on more things. It's really the relationships that you keep with people. Like, that's so important. Like, people don't understand that. Just not being an asshole and being funny. Like, you never know who you're going to run into.
You can't be a funny asshole?
Oh, you can't. No. I mean, you can, but did you deserve that? Did you earn that shit yet? Like, you can't be an asshole and you not getting booked. Like, for what? Like, what are we booking you for? We don't even want to work with you and you're not that fucking funny. Right. Like, but if you are, I mean, the relationships, it's literally the relationships that you keep. Like, I just got to the point where I was like, I'm just going to go to whatever city I can. I'm going to get on shows, do whatever shows I can do. And I built relationships to people where it was like, hey, you might want to talk to this person. They can get to do this for you. And so on and so forth. So
okay,
that's pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I just had another question.
No, it's okay.
So, so how important is it to be pop? Did they going in?
Babies.
Yeah. How important is it to be popping online as opposed to just being in the clubs all the time?
I think it's important online, just because if you don't travel a lot or you don't get that opportunity, it's just another way for people to discover you. Because I know a lot of people that aren't willing to travel a lot or they can't. So that's another way for people to see you. But being in the clubs is super important because when you make those relationships with those clubs, they can get you into other places. And a lot of those clubs have the people there that can put you in the direction of like management and agents and all that other stuff too. But I mean, online is just as important. It's equally important. So
okay.
I'm talking all this shit. I don't have nothing online, but that's fine. I don't.
You're not popping online.
I'm not. I'm terrible. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this shit.
All right. I think that's actually the last question. So, where can people find you?
On Instagram, Kristen Sivills, KRISTENSIVILLS. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. And then we had sex on Instagram and on all streaming platforms. You can listen to the podcast. If you have kids, just don't put it on Bluetooth. Other than that, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all talk about threesomes.
I know. We wait till the baby's asleep to record, but we do that.